75,000 members and more than 6 million employee with his experience and expertise to support our this wonderful cause. Thank you again on behalf of British Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to appreciate your time and effort of today, and would like to welcome Ifty to carry on as a moderator for this call, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bashir Bhai. So just to give you the background to how this has evolved and also some of our broad objectives, and obviously this will evolve over time. I mean, Bashir Bhai approached me a few months ago and said that, after COVID, how will technology, what are the technology opportunities post-COVID? So that was one of the themes. And I wrote an article about, how COVID is accelerating different digital economy trends and what the economic opportunities might be. So that was one theme. Another one that Bashir Bhai was very keen to develop was improving access to finance for British Bangladeshi entrepreneurs, especially those of the younger generation. So for access to finance and mentoring. And then we started off with a concept maybe of a Bangladesh Business Angels network. That was primarily focused on financing. Then over the last 2 months, that has evolved somewhat, actually, let's say considerably. And now we have let's say a broader vision and a series of goals. So I would say now the broad strategic goal is to catalyze a few things. One is to catalyze digital entrepreneurship, primarily in the British Bangladeshi community, and also to build bridges with Bangladesh itself, and to find mutually beneficial partnerships and opportunities. I would say that there are 3 broad ways we want to achieve that, and Litu and Muzahid will go into a bit more detail in the PowerPoint. But one important theme is engagement, let's say engagement, education, inspiration, motivation. Maybe that sounds like that's an obvious thing, but actually, particularly for the younger generation of British Bangladeshis, those in underprivileged areas, it's very important to motivate and inspire and mentor different potential digital entrepreneurs. And when we talk about digital entrepreneurs, I mean, I know that some of the people on this call are working for leading fintech companies, have a lot of experience in technology, but not all of us are technologists. You can also, I also consider digital entrepreneurs those who are using technology to find new business opportunities. And so that's fairly broad. So in order to do that, so that one aspect is that engagement and education and inspiration. So in order to do that, we're planning a couple of things. One is a series of 10, 12 webinars where we would expect all of, a number of you to be engaged in different webinars in different areas. We'll go through some of the subject areas in the PowerPoint. We also are planning to launch a Dragon's Den type competition in Q4 on Channel S, where we'll encourage especially any entrepreneurs, but particularly younger entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs to pitch for funding. We think that will help to popularize what we're trying to do. So I think that engagement we hope will also primarily focus on the British Bangladeshi community, but we can also engage with the with Bangladeshi entrepreneurs and digital entrepreneurs as well. The second important component is how to catalyze and support new entrepreneurs. In particular, we have in mind an innovation hub, an incubator, where we can actually offer specific support for new entrepreneurs. It may be how to create a business plan, how to access financing, how to maybe about a specific aspect of technology, how to find mentors in the network, how to help develop their business. So that's a second important element. The third element is financing. So I think in terms of financing, we think that we can have multiple streams that we can develop. One could be the Business Angel Network. So some of the people on this call, hopefully if they find attractive investment opportunities amongst new digital startups, they can we can present those to people in this group and the broader membership as we develop that. And then we can also look for institutional funding at a later stage. The Chancellor Rishi Sunak has announced a large-scale technology and innovation fund in the budget yesterday. And also we plan in the next 12 months to set up our own British Bangladeshi crowdfunding platform. So you could think of it as a crowdcube for the British Bangladeshi community. So those are three important elements. I think I reiterate again that I think there's a significant opportunity to build collaboration with Bangladesh. There are a lot of both for investment opportunities from the UK to Bangladesh, but also for Bangladeshi digital entrepreneurs to launch in the UK in partnership with UK British Bangladeshi entrepreneurs. The last thing I'll say before I hand over to Litu and Muzahid to go through some slides, which will talk about these issues in more detail. Firstly, I think in terms of the proposed structure of the organization, it's fluid and it's evolving, but we're all giving our time on a voluntary basis because we want to help others in the community. But I'd also say there's nothing, I also hope that this is also a business network club, you could say. So hopefully this will also be beneficial for each of you in your own businesses as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. So yes, this will be a social business, it's a not-for-profit, but it should also be a win-win, because at the end of the day, we want to see digital businesses from the British Bangladeshi community grow. And if any one of us are able to create new value, create new businesses, we can also employ people in the British Bangladeshi community. We can hire apprentices. The Chancellor also announced a doubling of the apprentice scheme yesterday. So now business people, new startups are going to be paid £3,000 per apprentice. So we can integrate that into our strategy. So I think that all of these things engaging into the broader community are important, but also we should also look for ways to build a network and derive value from that. I'm sure we'll have some more discussion in the Q&A, but let me now hand across to Litu to kick off and go through a few slides, which I think will give you a bit more detail. Again, I think we'd agreed this morning when we talked, he'll go through the slides quite quickly. He will go through the first half, Muzahid will go through the second half, then we'll go straight into the Q&A so that we have plenty of time for discussion. But we will share the concept note and also the slide deck and also Zoom recording of this call so that you can review that, ask any questions. We'll also create a WhatsApp group, and also you can share it with other people you think that might be interested. Again, last thing I'd say is the governance structure, the proposals, these will evolve. They're not written in stone. We want to make a start. We want to balance having good decision making, but also being inclusive. And I think ultimately, your own role in this platform is also a function of how much you want to be involved in the platform. If somebody has a lot of time and a lot of value addition and they find this something they want to engage in and they find it, then I think there's almost unlimited scope to be more involved. If some of you are very time constrained and can only spend some time, that's also fine. So hopefully after today, you'll get a better idea what we're wanting to do, what our initial thoughts are on how we're going to do it, and we would welcome in the Q&A your feedback as well. So Litu, do you want to kick off with the PowerPoint?
Sure. Thank you very much. Hi. I think my mouth is getting dry because I'm a bit nervous, so help me out with that. Right. So to start with, we are given a challenge to get a name or find a name, what name we can give this innovation hub. So we propose a couple of them. The one I like most is speak for itself, is Relay Innovation Hubs. We'll have to pass our message to our next generation, our community, or fellow human being. So as Ifty explained, that we need the key objectives are very narrow, and also broaden. So we got digital entrepreneurship. We wanted to engage, educate, and mentorship that generation, British Bangladeshi, and that automatically lead to startup development and financing. So there are three problems, and we got three proposed solutions with the problem. The first problem is that we don't get a lot of support from our British Bangladeshi community. Now, we do get a lot of supports if the support is available. So when I came as a student in 2005, I got a job statewide in the restaurant. So that's as far as we can go. But the support diagram is not broadened. So we need to broaden it up towards the digital entrepreneurship. How we do that? We built an innovation hub. And the next one is very interesting because migration and ethnic communities anywhere in the world, they're an informal crowdfunder. We wanted to bring that angel group within that platform so this informal crowdfunding becomes a formal. And then angel doesn't invest only. So angel would be someone who are we here, so we can invest and at the same time, we can share our expertise with the British Bangladeshis, young people and the women. Now, the digital entrepreneurship, the ecosystem of it, I don't know much of it. Not many people does, and especially our community is so behind of it. Now, the timing is absolutely fantastic that we need to explore the digital entrepreneurship, that how we can build an innovation hub, bring the angel together, and at the same time together build that entrepreneurship so we create that social value. Now, the key objectives, again, as Ifty mentioned and covered many of this, is an engagement, education, and inspiration. How do we do that? Throughout a learning program, throughout an awareness creating program, throughout a Dragon's Den, a investment piece. So if we talk about Channel S or any other channel, the young Bangladeshis or women we wanted to target, the ratio of viewership is a very, very low. So in order to get that, we need to create an awareness first, and create an engagement and then education. So we need to get an incubator hub, which is going to be at the end an academy, and that will automatically facilitate the number of funding options we discussed. Now, entrepreneurship is a very wider term, but what and how we would like to do. The first, if I look at the first picture on there, like to create an idea, generating that idea, open sourcing idea, finding out that opportunities. We know all of this because we are a businessman, we have done and gone through all of this. And then recognize and seek, then we create an MVP, find the solutions, then create an MVP. And then if that is useful for societies, we move on with the digital entrepreneurship. Either that digital entrepreneurship could be creating a new venture, new product, or it could be existing one. We can transform that existing one. Now, the challenges, one challenge is I can share today with a very simple question, is a cloud kitchen model to save the curry industry? Can cloud kitchen model save curry industry? Now, once I said curry industry, an existing business, and I straightway talk about that cloud kitchen model, this is a novel technology, and I'm not going to go into details with the novel technology, but we can integrate the technology whenever we wanted to develop a new venture or an existing one. Now, that requires a significant change in our mindset, behavior, understanding. So how that change process works? So if we think there's a block of ice in a rectangle shape, we wanted to do it in a triangle shape. How do we do that? We melt that ice into a water, we refreeze it. And that process we need to go through. And the first, we need a communication to do that. And that communication we're doing at this current moment, followed by it's going to be a learning platform. Then we play and we work together. Once those fall into a shape, we automatically create some sort of product or service which can do a business. So the whole diagram, starting from entrepreneurship to define the digital entrepreneurship and integrating the novel technology, and then mindset changes, and then started working and building the product and service together, is a very time consuming but interesting step and a platform that we are hoping to jump in. Now, the proposed webinars, it could be in a many different sector, many different challenges, many different problems we face, that we will definitely identify and start those webinars. But at this current moment, we listed some of them that can change as we go along. So from healthcare to fintech, to AI, to technological revolution and collaboration. So there are two business models we propose. The first business models to support young British Bangladeshis. So first, if we open source an idea, and that idea we can open source by utilizing the ethnic media or the people we know, that if they have an idea and they're looking for a platform, and then we go through a screening process. If it works, if it is good, then absolutely fantastic, comes to the startup clinic. If it doesn't, goes to the revision. Once this in the startup clinic, after successful process, it goes to a graduation program. And that graduation program is a 12 to 6 month residency program, with managed and mentored by one-to-one. So this one-to-one management mentorship could come in a many different ways. Either a management team could mentor and manage, or an angel who has an interest of that particular business after that screening could invest a little bit of seed funds and mentor this particular startup founder. Once that is done, this goes to an investment roadshow or a tiger's den, like Dragon's Den type of crowdfunding or reality TV show program. Now, both of these needed to be managed by British Bangladeshi angels, which will be one of our key objectives. This stage, if angel thinks is good, absolutely fantastic, they can take this as a growth stage, or they can give us a certificate, give certification to those British Bangladeshis. And with this certification, what they get, a business idea, an MVP to work with that, and then some traction, and then can go and make their business viable. The next model is fit very much into our objectives. And when we say our objective, we have a group named One More One, and we have a range of interests from hospitality to distillation and healthcare to aquaculture. So someone like me, I have a couple of business ideas. I reach out to all of you and I say, there you go, this is the business idea. Now I have that screening part done. As MVP is ready, traction is ready. So I come to this incubation stage. If I don't, or if any member reach out and he said, I have an idea, then we go through this screening and revision and startup cleaning process. And this process is 3 months. Within that incubation, we get angel investment, we accelerate, we growth or we exit, and then we get fundraise from there. So people like us needed a support from on each other, needed help from on each other, and that can be facilitated throughout this platform as well. Now, there are many things we need to start a business or a startup business, but the timing is the most important. And what we see after the COVID, the digital entrepreneurship program, a innovation hub for British Bangladeshis is overdue, and the timing is absolutely paramount that we explore the next steps. Now, we got very short-term, like very simple 5 years plan within a 5-point. So the first, we need to set this up. How we set this up? After this slide, my colleague Muzahid Bhai will talk about the governance and how we govern that. And the most important thing we need is a weekly directors meeting, and the directors could be a board of directors or could be a trustee. Why do we need this meeting? Because to move it forward from there. And there is a delivery plan we developed, and that delivery plan needed to be followed. It's a Gantt chart, which we will show later stage. We need a pilot project, and that pilot project would be for the model one and the business model one for British Bangladeshis. Now that we are so much involved with the British Bangladeshi, we pick one idea and we put into the basket and we started working on that how does it work? And that will give us a lot of understanding. And then we explored that model as well. Now, in 2020, middle of 2020, it's not too far away, what we wanted to achieve, we wanted to get this startup sorted in a way that we touch 5 sectors with five ideas, with five entrepreneurs, and we aim to develop 5 MVPs. And then we formalize that angel network we talked about. And then we can start that enterprise graduation program. Once those 2 is done, then we move into that operational. And it will need it in that time that we get the crowdfunding platform sorted, a fully functional management team, of course. And our major goal is, I'm going to skip that management part. The reason is self-explanatory. The next part, what we wanted to do in a major goal, in about 5 years' time, we wanted to see in our portfolio, which is the innovation of portfolio, we have 10 plus startup, 100 plus enterprise graduate, and then at least 1 our unicorn business from there. So that is up to that point. I hand over to Muzahid Bhai. Muzahid Bhai, over to you, please.
Yeah, thanks Litu Bhai for doing so well. You couldn't tell your mouth was dry. So yeah, I'll also rifle through this part of the presentation. So thank you for being patient so far. Of course, if anything is not clear, as Ifty has illustrated earlier, we will pick those up in the Q&A session a little bit later. So I just wanted to touch on what this organizational governance is going to look like, and a few further slides will kind of also highlight that. Of course, for this initiative to have a name and a brand and a feature, we also need to talk about the governance. And the governance is essentially really important because it is essentially the backbone and the pillar of the future success of this organization. And within the governance, the people are also the most important aspect, in addition to policies, rules and regulations and governance documents. So the first thing really is we need to register it as a social enterprise. So it will be a venture that will operate like a business, but all profits earned will be retained within the organization. So a social enterprise can be done in many ways of registration. The 2 that I wanted to highlight was that it can be registered at Companies House with memorandum and articles of association with the limited company status. And the government also introduced the community interest company concept to galvanize the whole notion of community enterprise. And I guess every year we see in this country about 1,000 social enterprises being registered. And I guess if we can agree which one we go for. And I think community interest company, and Jamal's done quite a bit of work in terms of background research on this. He's on the call. So the community interest company is kind of the model that is recommended. Although there are other kind of models that people can go for. Secondly, to do that, we need MEMANATs, Memorandum and Articles of Association, which clearly contain social enterprise objectives. And the key thing in the MEMANATs is the asset lock. By that, we mean any assets owned by the social enterprise has to be locked in. In the event of this initiative having a closure or an exit, then there's a clear defined rule that suggests any assets should be given to other social enterprises or charities and cannot benefit the directors. In terms of its people structure, we have an advisors group which will populate as we go along. As Ifty suggested, all of this is very fluid. We've suggested board of directors in the board of directors part. And then we have a further reference group, stroke mentors, coaches, and experts, which will of course grow. And because we focus on women and young people and those in digital technology businesses, we want to grow that element to be quite substantial, that And in addition to that, those people can be involved in a number of subcommittees, which we will talk about a little bit later. So everybody is engaged with their skills, expertise, and experiences in entrepreneurship to be able to give that back to those who are coming new into the arena, i.e. people with ideas, young entrepreneurs, new startups who are looking to scale. So there's a great opportunity for us to pool our expertise, both from experts from here and abroad. In terms of further strengthening the governance, of course, we need a bank account. Cooperative banking, offer free banking to social enterprises, financial controls and rules, which you're all familiar with. We will need a good accountant specializing in perhaps social enterprises, and a good lawyer also perhaps with expertise in social entrepreneurship. So that's the proposed governance structure. If we go to the next slide.
Yeah, I think also, Muzahid, if you just go through the other slides reasonably quickly, because we're going to share the slide deck, because it's now almost 6:40. So
oh yes,
right. Well,
sure. So I guess the organizational structure, I don't really need to say much other than the fact that it is structured in a way to get us moving, and we've got identified personnel to put into these roles. So have a good look at that, and then we'll move on. And so, of course, there's a 3-point revenue model. The first being fees, the second being startup grants and local government and social business grants that are available through various trusts and foundations and other government bodies, particularly Social Enterprise UK have various directions for anyone starting in social business to be able to access a number of different grant forums. And then, of course, we're looking at the private sector for CSR funding, social business partnerships, and of course, sponsorships through the Tiger's Den. So the revenue model, I'm not too concerned about, because I think we've got a unique product that can be taken to market. And we move on to the next one. Yeah, so there's a number of points listed here. We are proposing a number of subcommittees, and these are the proposed subcommittees, and we can all get involved in one or many of these as we have different expertise and skill levels. So yeah, have a good look at that. And then, of course, to get the ball rolling, we need a little bit of revenue. We believe it could be between 5 to 10K. Why we need that? It's because of setting it up initially as a startup, perhaps doing a number of design elements, the website and digital aspects, and the governance due diligence, some fees, PR marketing, registration costs. And where can that be funded from? Okay, so the potential is founding directors and or bids into funding bodies, which I'm sort of aware of. Next one. So where do we take this inspiration from? Well, there's various good examples and good practices of organizations who are doing exceptional work in terms of supporting entrepreneurs, and these are some of them. And we will connect with them at some point in the future as supporters and partners. And then next one. Next one. Right. So our partners. So of course, these are a few partners who are listed. However, it's not to say that we want to connect with numerous universities with business faculties and technology faculties, as well as other whole range. I mean, we've got a detailed plan of the range of partners that we're going to have, and there's certainly more than already 20 on the list. We could only illustrate this just to give you an idea. And I think we've come to the end of this part. Are we, Litu? Yes, we have. Yes, so back to the moderator.
Yeah. Let's just you know, I think just to make sure everybody has a chance to give their views. So I think that if I think maybe Hannan, since it's 12:40 in Dhaka, maybe you want to make a quick comment and give your thoughts, and then we can. I think people, and there's 18 people on the call, so maybe you could use I think the raise your hand function at the bottom of the Zoom screen, or you can just I think where it says reactions, you can use that, or you can just try and grab my attention, and we'll try and finish it in the next 30 to 40 minutes, hopefully, give everybody a chance to speak. But Hannan Bhai, did you want to make a quick comment, just in case you have to go?
All right, Ifty. Good evening and also good morning from Dhaka. I'm very happy, actually, happy to hear that, well, Ifty and all this big pool of entrepreneurs, business entities, and also academicians from UK, that you all have taken an initiatives in terms of having startups over there to help British Bangladeshi young generations to come up with, good digital entrepreneurship models. What I would like to share with all of you from Bangladesh, actually, I'm working at South University as the Dean of the Business School, the School of Business and Economics. I have been working here for long since, actually. In between, 2005 to 2014, I was the Dean of the Business School. Then I left also NSU, and then I was a Vice Chancellor of a university and also a Vice Chancellor for another university. Then I went back again to the North-South Business School as the Business School Dean. Ifty has introduced that North-South Business School is by far the largest business school in the region. Not only in Bangladesh, it is a very large business school that has around 15,000 to 16,000 students in the business school with 300 faculty members. We do nurture our students in an incubation center that we have, what we call the NSU Startup Next. NSU Startup Next exactly doing the same thing that Mr. Litu has actually introduced in terms of the incubation and also graduating phase that we have been doing and nurturing our students, especially on the digital front, because Ifty and we have been actually talking about that, how we can actually bring FinTech Center and Digital Center, Digital Lab, data analytics, business analytics, all tech, business analytics and technology in our business school. That's what actually we are trying to bring. I think the big pool from your part is going to help me also, and we can also share our success story within just 1 year, that what we have got in terms of startups, that 8 teams from a whole university, we have been pitching them for 1 year, and we have spent around 50 lakhs taka for training all these student group, 8 group students. With our consultant, the global consultant and the local consultant, they have been actually nurturing all those business ideas in our incubation center. And out of which 8 groups, out of which we have graduated 4 teams recently. Remember one thing, that all these 8 teams have given initial business funding from our university with no written policy. We are not going to take, or we are not going to seek any money from them. All we have nurtured the good ideas from the student, so that they can visualize those things and materialize those things in real life to go for expanding their business ideas in the marketplace. Many of you already know North-South Business School truly been able to produce very good quality digital and fintech business startups in our country. Some of you might know Nogod is one of our product of from North-South Business School, like Bikash, the way it is working. We do have also Chaldal.com, a very popular I would say, an e-commerce platform in Bangladesh. Many of you also know Pathao. Pathao is also founded from North-South University, one of our co-founder from Elias from our business school. So we have Chaldal.com, iFarmers, we have Tracklagbe.com, we have plenty of .coms that I can talk one after one. They all are doing great. But this year we have graduated 4 of our startup teams called Thrive. The Thrive is actually an edutech support software that these group of students, they are actually coming up with a good enterprise model for education sector. We are giving them funding. There is another one, what we call Kalke. Kalke is actually an HR and people management software that is launched by our student. and Reshop. There is another one. It is called Reshop. Reshop is a reseller platform, which is a 360-degree logistics and other support system that we are providing right now. And they are the last one that we have graduated this time. It is called Hive Scout. Hive Scout is an influencer fuel digital marketing platform. And these are the 4 teams they have graduated through the process that Mr. Litu has been actually presenting in front of us. So they are graduated. Now, to be, good news is that we have given them only 20 lakhs taka, 4 teams, each team 5 lakhs taka funding for generating their company and getting their license, and also getting their, joint stock company registration and everything. But by now, within a couple of months, they were able to attract $2 million funding. These 4, companies or newly evolved organizations have been able to get $2 million funding from different venture fund and from other sources. So that's how we try to nurture our students and our graduates from North-South University. And there are plenty of other ideas are in the online, and they are going to get one after one, graduating. There are 4 more in the second stage, and we are actually revamping that things in the upcoming year, that there will be more funnel of business entrepreneurship that we are going to model from the NSU Business School, so that they can go in the marketplace with real business ideas. So I was very happy to hear today that you British Bangladeshi entrepreneurs, business entities, academicians, you have taken a great initiatives for British Bangladeshi young people to go for. And I have seen the governance and also other, model of designing the formation. I would appreciate that things, and I would like to also see that you all can also give us good idea, good support to our, startups. And if any way we can be part of your support, we would be able to do that. In any way, if you want to see that you want to send even British Bangladeshi young students in our country to use our incubation center, to share their thoughts and to materialize their ideas using the technology and also the ideas and support from our university, we would be interested in even having collaborations with all of you. In that sense, I would say today, my presence with you, I'm not here to give a speech. I am rather be very happy to listen from all of you so that I can gain some knowledge that how you all are actually pushing these projects forward. And obviously in the upcoming days, we can do a great collaboration between North-South University and any other community, both within country or in overseas. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Hannan Bhai. I think that's very encouraging that there should be scope for collaboration, synergies between your innovation incubation lab and what we're trying to do here. As I said, building bridges with Bangladesh, both in terms of academic bridges, but also finding new opportunities to jointly develop startups in the UK. That I think the NSU partnership will be very productive. I see that Sanawar has put up his hand. So Sanawar, did you want to make a quick comment? I think if I can request everybody just to speak for a couple of minutes, because I want to make sure it's already 6:50. So call's been going on for 50 minutes, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance who wants to make a comment to make a comment. Don't feel obliged, but I want to make sure that we do have to hear as many views as possible. So please, Sanawar.
Ifty, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can I just resonate what Professor Hannan has just said? We have a country in Bangladesh, I'm in Dhaka as well at this moment, of nearly 200 million people, a younger profile than most European countries. And what we do in Bangladesh at any business school is done everywhere in the world. I've taught across universities in the UK and abroad. And I know that we don't have to reinvent the wheel in order to benefit from what's already out there. The internet, the digital entrepreneurship allows us a common playing field that is global in nature. So what we do can be replicated anywhere in the world, and what anywhere else is done can be replicated in Bangladesh as well. So we're not just looking at doing business within Bangladesh, we're looking at cross-border business opportunities. And this can easily be done. South University, I think, is one of the leading institutions, definitely in Bangladesh, in terms of promoting global citizenship and allowing business to be done, not just within Bangladesh, but abroad as well. So a lot of what we pick up today isn't new, isn't original. It's something that we can learn from anywhere and simply replicate in Bangladesh, and also learn from what's happening in Bangladesh, especially in areas of microfinance and so on, and then replicate it in other parts of the world as well. United Kingdom, coming 5 years, is going to suffer a lot. We're not the Great Britain we used to be. So I think Bangladesh has a lot of opportunities of doing business with the UK, much more now with Brexit completed than before. So I wholeheartedly agree that there are so many opportunities for us to go forward, and it's something that we should all engage in and promote. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Sanawar. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I was actually doing an interview this morning on NHK, the main Japanese TV channel, and I was saying that countries like the UK and Japan have to move away from thinking about Bangladesh as a donor destination, actually a place to find mutually beneficial opportunities. Maybe now we can go to. I'd like to also bring in some of the female members of the group. I think that maybe we can hear from Bunni and then also Alina and then also Shelina as well. So Bunni, do you want to jump in and give any thoughts that you have?
Thanks, Ifty. I somehow knew you were going to pick on me right now. But,
well, not just because you're a female, by the way, but both because you're female and you're smart and have. I know because we've been talking about a number of ideas. I mean, even as you and I have engaged, we're ideas are evolving almost every few days. We're having some brainstorming. So please.
Right. So basically, I would like to tell Professor Hannan and Professor Sanawar that I'm actually a product of IBA. So, but that was many years ago. Don't even ask me when. And my background is basically, I was with British American Tobacco for 14 years in IT. And BAT brought me to London, and I was with the head office for a while. And then I actually joined a company that Adina owns. She is also part of the, people who are attending today. And then I am basically sort of changed that, all that changed, and I moved into interior designing, which is something that I was always very passionate about. So I did a sort of professional course in London, and I work as a designer both in London and in Dhaka. I also have an old people's home. I run our old people's home in Bournemouth. And we have some businesses. I have some businesses with my husband in Bangladesh. So I am basically jack of all trades and master of none. So, like I told Ifty before that, I'm more of a doer rather than a planner. So, you can take advantage of me in terms of actually doing rather than, you can do all the planning and I can do the dirty job. So that's me. But by the way, I think this is a great concept, very impressive. Thank you for the presentations. I think, you have really thought about it. And, in what, about a month, right? I mean, this probably started about a month ago, this whole process. And you have thought things through. You have a good roadmap and very, very impressive. And I look forward to working with you.
Thanks so much, Bunny, for your comments. I mean, I'll come back maybe if we have time, depending on how much time we have left after getting people's feedback. But I wanted to give the interaction on digital health a little bit of an airing. Just actually, it's a good example of how quickly ideas can develop if you have a good network and a good engagement. But maybe now we can come to Adina, who is the CTO of I think Zach Sanderson's, which is a a leading Anderson Zach, sorry, which is a leading fintech company, digital payments company. And I understand you've been there since 1997. I mean, having, for a few reasons, we're very pleased that you've agreed to be on the call and hopefully engage in the platform, because I myself with Erfan, we're also in fintech, working on some different projects here and also in some countries in Asia. It's definitely a focus area for the British government. And I think that, it's, we're also planning to establish a fintech center, or we've been discussing with Hannan and I for the last 3 months in Bangladesh, and reach out to UK universities and UK fintech. So we're very excited. I think you're exactly the kind of person that can inspire and motivate new digital entrepreneurs and potentially new fintechs as well. So Adina, do you want to give your comments or thoughts?
Yes. Well, I only found out about you last night, and I got sent something by Bunmi that I promised to read before I joined this call today, but just didn't get the time, really. But it was good to know what you're doing. And I've always felt that we could, over here, do something with Bangladeshi technology companies. And when I have been back to Bangladesh, I have tried to find out more about what these companies do and maybe engage them in doing some work with us. But, when you go to Bangladesh, you just don't have the time to look at other things except meet your family and then come back again. So I think with something like this, we can probably engage with a whole load of Bangladeshi companies who are doing some very new things. Like Professor Hannan mentioned all these different websites that I've seen in Bangladesh now, Pathfinder and all these new ones. And something like that we could probably bring across to this country as well. And there are lots of things that are going on in Bangladesh that we don't have here, like something like Bcash. I don't know who does that. I always thought, the company we have is, it's a credit card processing company. So it has a lot of synergy with these sort of businesses. So yeah, I would like to get to know more about Bangladeshi companies and see if we can bring them around or bring the ideas here and work with them.
That's great, Adina. And I think particularly if we move forward with the FinTech Center of Excellence at NSU, if Hannan and this group and others can start moving that forward, then that cross-fertilization of fintech and digital opportunities is something we can move forward with. In fact, Erfan and I, we just finished writing quite a detailed paper on post-COVID, the impact of COVID on accelerating digital banking transformation. And we're going to be holding a webinar. I'll obviously share that with all of you in Bangladesh, third week in March, with the CEO of BRAC Bank, Salim Hussain, is going to be one of the speakers. And it's with the CFA Society in Bangladesh. So there'll be quite a few bank CEOs and chairmen and fintechs participating in that discussion. And we also want to have something similar in the UK in the next few months as well. So I think there should be some good opportunities for engagement. And I think that, again, just won't digress and take up too much time, but I was also speaking about 4 months ago, the UK Foreign Office has an annual business conference and they always actually just used to focus on India, the UKTI. So the British, this was the first year when they actually also included Bangladesh and Pakistan in this kind of roadshow to look for business engagement between the UK and Bangladesh. But I was really making the point that in technology space, there's a lot of innovation from Bangladeshi fintechs, Bcash, but many others, and those that UK fintechs could collaborate in Bangladesh and use Bangladesh not only as a market with 160 70, 180 million people, but also as a build a developing country business model that they can replicate across other Asian countries and other African countries as well. That's certainly something that Erfan and I are working on in our space. Erfan has worked on a blockchain and AI credit rating system using mobile phone numbers, which is I think globally innovative, and so that's been launched in Bangladesh with Robi, and we plan to replicate some of those AI-based credit rating in the projects that we do, the companies and projects we're doing in the UK. So beyond the academic AI and blockchain and other things, we have quite a lot of collective expertise in actual implementation experience. Maybe now, and I think maybe on future calls or bilaterally, we can also discuss some of these issues in more detail. Maybe Shelina, would you like to make any comment or have any thoughts?
Oh yeah, so, yeah. First of all, great initiative, and I think it's definitely needed. Obviously, I'm based in Manchester, and after London, Greater Manchester is probably the next best place for tech startups. The sort of tech eco support system in the region is by far one of the best ones across the country, and Mash and Muzahid will tell you that as well. For me, I think, you know, empowering young British Bangladeshis in the UK is really important. Feels to me that maybe in Bangladesh, you know, you guys probably years ahead of what, you know, some of the British, what the young people are doing in this country, and it's how do we engage those youngsters? And, you know, the media, the Bangladeshi media is probably not the right channel, and for you, if you have already said that. So for me, it's like, how do we engage the young people? How do we engage women to, you know, look at digital as a career path, and, you know, look at it as, you know, a way for as a career? Because I think skills and, you know, education is still behind when it comes to young people. You know, the government in the UK is trying to get more youngsters trying to do STEM subjects, and, you know, Asians are even further behind that. So yeah, for me, it's just engaging with those people, and there's definitely a lot of people on this call and, you know, around the UK and Bangladesh who can inspire and be role models, and it's about raising that awareness. And I think, yeah, that's probably one of the priorities that maybe you need to look at further down.
Ifty, I just wanted to add that Shelina was formerly the business editor of the Manchester Evening News and currently just appointed to the Northwest editor of the business desk. So Shelina is a crucial path in communicating what we're trying to do. So I hope you'll continue to come and join us if you like what we're doing.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
I think that it's great, Shelina, that you've joined. I mean, I keep banging on when I speak to Bashir Bhai and Muzahid. I keep kind of cornering Muzahid and say, look, yeah, you know, one of the mission critical things, we can come up with, I mean, collectively a lot of content, and I think quite, you know, without, you know, being too overconfident, I think very high, I mean, globally competitive content, academic research and other things. But actually the biggest challenge is, how do we reach out to those parts of the British Bangladesh community who are not you know, let's say in the business mainstream, and I think that Shelina, so that's why I'm very happy, Shelina, that you've also joined. I'd also say, you know, when we talk about technology, I mean, I think we have some ideas for a webinar, and also some focus areas on skills development, technology skills development. I'm going to come to Mashukul in a minute, but we did a webinar for the British Bangladesh Chamber, actually, I think it was a few months ago, 6 weeks ago, and it was about e-commerce and digital marketing. And after that, quite a few people came to me and said, well, actually, we would like to. So it's not about, we can develop a coders academy, and I think we can do that. Even on this call, we have a number of, I mean, Erfan and Mashukul and others are very experienced coders, and from blockchain AI just to coding. We're exploring how to kind of bring in, you know, coding training capacity and capabilities from Bangladesh and deliver that into the UK. But even all the way to somebody who's maybe a student or a young person who's unemployed or doesn't know what to do, if they everybody's creating digital content every day, recording YouTube videos or Instagram posts or Facebook posts or TikTok. Can they use that? Can we help them use that, create digital content to make an income? can they use that to sell goods and products? So digital entrepreneurship is quite broad, all the way from somebody creating digital content in their room at home and helping them to become an entrepreneur or generate income from that, to becoming a coder, to becoming an entrepreneur. So I think there's quite a wide range of different ways that we can create, encourage digital entrepreneurship. Mashukul, do you want to jump in? I'm just going a bit randomly across the room, so to speak. I think you come off mute as well, Mashukul. Yeah.
So first of all, good evening to everyone. And obviously I failed at the first hurdle by not knowing how to unmute myself.
And also maybe give a quick, 1 minute introduction to yourself again, because not everybody will know your background.
Yeah, okay. Well, I obviously know quite a few other people on the call. So I think pretty much your introduction at the beginning was spot on. The only thing I'd probably add is that I'm a technology geek. I've been coding since the age of 13 or 14. All the businesses I've been involved in, they've all had a technology background. Just to echo some of the things that most of the people have said here is that I think one of the greatest problems in our community is just the visibility of the digital sector as being like a viable career path for people within our community. It's just there at the moment. Which is why I'm very pleased to see that as part of this initiative, you've got quite a few webinars planned and the mentoring scheme as well. I think that will go a long way towards just improving the visibility of digital skills and just making people aware that there are viable career paths. Because I think there's far too much concentration, far too much, I think, a leaning towards things like medicine and law and accountancy. No disrespect to people who come from that kind of background. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to see how all the initiative.
Yeah, I think that's great. Shajahan, do you have any comments that you wanted to make?
Yes, thank you, Ifty. Good evening, everyone. I suppose I won't take up too much of your time. I think this is a great initiative now, and it's great that there's so many of you guys with so many sort of different types of backgrounds and expertise, basically getting involved. So hopefully, it will go far. Now, I'll just go straight into some of my thoughts about. I think one of the main things that we've got to do, or this group has got to do, is basically make sure that it's tailored to the audience. So we need to know exactly who our target is. But I think we're still a bit vague on that. So who exactly is our target audience? Because one of the things, NSU I've heard about a lot, and really, really impressive what's going on there. And the problem we'll have is that we don't have a brand. So it is about brand building, and the webinars are going to really help. But I think the webinars, the big element to the webinars has got to be inspiring people as well as educating. And I think if it's too technical, then you won't actually target the right, get the right results. I think it's got to be something that's relatable. And I think one idea that comes to mind is, I've been working in Bangladesh for, for about 8 years now. I think I started doing bits and bats there, and then set up a company, an actuarial consulting firm in Dhaka. And to be honest, I set it up initially because my wife's from Bangladesh. I go over there and I just sit at my in-laws. I did that for years, and I thought, I actually, this is a waste of time. I need to be doing something. And I've learned a lot about Bangladesh, and I think one of the things that we could do here is inspire people by showing them the actual stories of what's happening in Bangladesh, basically. And I agree with, I think one of the speakers was saying that Bangladesh is probably the UK is probably way behind Bangladesh in terms of if you look at the sort of population and what they aspire to, what they do, so there isn't going to be in Bangladesh you've got 200 million people almost, and the population that you're looking at, the NSU has a whole host of really top entrepreneurs, or at least the most talented pool of people. Out of 200 million, you get lots of customers, if you like, lots of entrepreneurs. So sourcing entrepreneurs in the UK, I think, and reaching the parts that we want to reach, we've got to be clear about that and how to do that. So I think this is really good, because we need to promote digital, we need to promote entrepreneurship in our communities more, and yeah, I'm looking forward to staying engaged.
Okay, thanks so much, Shajahan. I guess let me quick, before we go on to the next intervention, let me answer your question and say your observation was it's a bit vague, and actually I say it's deliberately vague at this stage. And the reason I say that, it's not accidental. The whole point is, especially at this point, to engage as many different segments as possible. And so I think that that can be, if we could have just focused on established wealthy business people in the Bangladeshi community. We could have focused on just the British Bangladeshi relationship. But I think that we want to, I think if we want to be, I think to have the biggest impact, we need to be able to engage with and add value to inspire, motivate, and also help succeed. People all the way. It may be we're having a discussion about a digital bank and a digital remittance company amongst Erfan and I with Bashir and some other. So that's a large project, a large complex project. We're talking with doctors. With Muzahid, we're talking with doctors in the Northwest. We're talking about multiple areas of health. Seema is also engaged in that. But I would say if we're going to be successful, we also want to engage with, I keep emphasizing, the younger generation. It can be the younger generation, it can be women entrepreneurs, it may be people sitting at, who didn't consider digital as an opportunity. So I think, this whole today's discussion is kind of a trial run. We actually want to hold the first webinar to introduce the program and the plans and get to a much broader audience on, I think, March the 21st is a provisional date. I think Bashir and I and others will try and finalize that, but probably March the 21st afternoon. And that has to be very broad and all-encompassing, but then we'll have subcommittees or focus groups who will engage maybe with students, may engage with people in the community who are the younger generation. It's not just younger generation, there may be many housewives or people sitting at home who have fantastic entrepreneurial ideas. And if we can help them and work with them to give them a platform to engage, then that would be fantastic. So I think there's a wide range from very established business people who are looking for big projects, large scale projects, all the way to somebody that's sitting in their bedroom and may not even see that they're unemployed. But we may help them find a new digital opportunity. So hopefully that will we'll find a clearer structure. But I think one thing, Shajahan, you said, very important. What we don't want to do, especially in the webinars, is blind people with science. If you spend an hour talking about AI and blockchain and coding, and then 95% of the audience don't have any idea what you're talking about, it's a waste of everybody's time. So we have to get the right balance and connect. We can have specialized subgroups who get much more technical, but we have to engage a broader audience. Maybe now Jakaria Bai from the Bangladesh High Commission, would you like to make some comments?
Thank you, Ifty bhai. And first of all, I like to thank Litu for inviting me to this beautiful session. In fact, I was following the works of building up this angel network for last few months. In fact, with Litu and Nidjor, I had 2 or 3 conversation before, and I'm very happy that they have very quickly built up such a wonderful organization. I think it's a very good start, because it is always hard work to make the first step. If you allow me, I want to quote here, because I'm not a very much a tech guy. I just try to make my updated with all the new jargons that are coming up, angel network, crowdfunding, so that I can pretend, yes, I know all these things. I actually like philosophy. So let me quote from Shams Tabriz, if you perhaps know him. He is the guru of Maulana Rumi. So he was saying in his one of his 40 rules of love. I'm sure that many of you are aware. So he's saying in one row that fret not where the road will take you. Instead, concentrate on the first step. That is the hardest part, and that is what you are responsible for. Once you take that step, let everything do what it naturally does, and the rest will follow. Don't go with the flow, be the flow. Surely this rule has a deeper meaning, I'm sure, but I was just trying to relate this quotation to your first step. I think it's a wonderful step. I'm very much optimistic to see all the people who are engaged with this initiative. Ifty Bhai, I know him for 2-3 years. I met him first, perhaps, in our High Commission's residence. He has a unique style of speaking, and we have already done together one event in UK. Fintech is a very I know that Ifty Bhai has a favorite area, and we have already organized an event, and I hope that in the coming days, with the help of Ifty Bhai and others, we'll organize others event, because we from the High Commission, I think that our main job is to connect people and to facilitate. And when I joined 2 years back, I completely understood that the third, fourth generation of the British Bangladeshis, they're actually in the driving seat. And so connecting with this third, fourth generation, that's very much important to be connected with the mainstream British. So I think that is happening now, and you've correctly pointed out and considered the target group, this generation people, and you want to train up that. And I think with training, with networking, with access to fund and British Chamber, I'm very happy that they're with this, and I'm sure with the British Chamber can make you connected with London Chamber. And also I have also already seen that perhaps the city mayor is also, mayor office is also your partner. So these are all relevant organizations from the British side. And after the COVID, from the last budget, I think there are opportunities for getting fund from the government, if you can build up that sort of organization. And from that point of view, I think it's a major step which can help us to train people here, British Bangladeshi people, to connect these young people with the young people of Bangladesh, who are also doing great job, and making them connected to the fund, connected to the network. I think with this start, this is a start which I believe that it will lead us to a bright future. And I'm very happy to be with your initiative, and from the High Commission, we are ready to provide you all kind of support. Here, I have found the people like Hannan sir. I was just listening from him, all the success stories of Bangladesh. So I think he can, from him, you can share all his experience, and that can help to enrich this organization. So with these words, I want to conclude. All best luck for your this initiative. High Commission is with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jakari Bhai. Well, it's good to add some philosophy, and I like the first step and let's create the flow. I see that maybe now Mahtab Bhai can make any comments, and then I also Anwar Ali OBE has also joined. So Anwar Bhai, it's great that you've also joined. So maybe we can, Mahtab Bhai, you can make a comment, then Anwar Ali, then
thank you, Ifty Bhai. Well, to be honest, my enthusiasm about this group is grown to a very, very exciting for me, to be honest now. After seeing this presentation from Litu Bhai and Muzahid Bhai, I'm so in a position to concentrate even more into it, because when I see the Professor Abdul Hannan Chowdhury is inviting our entrepreneurs from British Bangladesh to connect with his business school's entrepreneurship, it's definitely opening up, which I think will be a great relationship between British Bangladeshis and the Bangladesh itself, the entrepreneurs. And Litu did say in his presentation, it is absolutely beautiful time for entrepreneurship because of the COVID, post-COVID, as well as the United Kingdom out of the EU, the Brexits. And Bangladesh has been very honored by coming out from the least developed country to graduate to the middle income country. I think the opportunity is definitely, it's a great opportunity for such a group like us. And also, I'm so pleased to see the engagement, today's participation of Zakaria Hoque, our commercial secretary from Bangladesh Commission, join us, our group. And above all, I must congratulate the ladies. Today, I think 3 or 4 ladies have participated us. Empowering our Bangladeshi community here in Bangladesh. It's nevertheless because I'm the father of 5 beautiful ladies. So I want to see more of the women engaged in our group. By saying that, as I said, thank you, Ifty, for your excellent moderating these groups.
Okay, thank you so much, Mahtab Bhai. Actually, I think what I might do, Anwar Ali, before coming to you, let me also, I'll bring in Erfan, Jamal, and that will also give you a flavor for the discussion since you came in a bit late. And I appreciate, I think you had another conflict. You weren't thinking you were going to be able to join and then you're joining. So maybe we'll let a few other people speak and you'll get a flavor for the discussion. I think, Jamal, do you want to speak, then Erfan? And then we can come to Amjad and Jawad. And then Seema.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate being put on this call. My background is I went to Bangladesh having grown up in the UK, and I always viewed myself as a salmon swimming the wrong way. When everyone was talking about coming to the UK, for whatever reasons, I went to Bangladesh and we started up an IT company over there. And I called it my tour of duty because from that experience that I learned, I would never have got that in the UK. You know, even if I worked for 100 years, the type of exposure I got in Bangladesh, I could only dream about that. So when this opportunity arose to empower, you know, entrepreneurs, the next generation, regardless of age, whether they're 60 or whether they're 21, regardless, I think it's a great venture, and I'm, you know, very excited about it. From my point of view, I think if we amalgamate a wide variety of people, which Ifty and the committee is trying to do at the moment, it would be successful. We have some prerequisites that we need to do, which is, first of all, get the organizational structure. And I think as Mr. Alam was mentioning, also we need to have a vision that we can coalesce around and go to market to. The fact that we got people from the media is great as well, because there's no point in having a message unless you can share that message with the wider community. So yeah, I mean, going forward, I'm available for whatever work needs to be done. Very passionate about it. Whatever service I can provide, whether it's technical or non-technical, I'm available. So I'll leave it there.
Thanks so much, Jamal. Actually, before coming to Erfan, I just wanted to I guess you can say it's insider trading or conflict of interest, but I want to bring Seema in, who's my wife, but I actually wanted to give it as an example. I didn't drag Seema in, I just gave her like 2 minutes notice and said, you know, can you join? We had our first committee meeting last time, and I literally just was downstairs in the kitchen. I said, oh, we've got this call in 5 minutes. Would you like to join? You might find it interesting. And she was like, what meeting about what? And so she came up. But I wanted to give, before I asked Seema to speak, I wanted to actually give, you know, we've talked about a lot of things, and I think a lot of people listening might say, well, okay, this is not hot air, but you're talking about so many things. Where's the actual substance, or how are you going to start? And what I would actually just say is, actually, we have started already. And I want to give a specific example. So from maybe a month ago, as we were thinking about, we had after that last, let's say, committee meeting, or the first group meeting, group meeting we had about a month ago. Then a few days later, Muzahid reached out to me and said, actually, Ifty, there's a doctor in Liverpool who's interested in digital entrepreneurship and digitizing, you know, his practice or digital opportunities in NHS. Can you have a call? Would you like to have a call? So we had a call, and we've actually had 2 or 3 calls, and we're discussing some, you know, digital, you know, can we create a new health technology business? You know, then we also had some discussions. You know, Seema also took part in a call with Litu, and we were talking about some of his businesses, and we had some brainstorming about from agriculture and climate change. But then when Seema, as she took part in a few discussions, then I know we have one of our son is on the autistic spectrum, and Seema has done a huge amount of work and still is ongoing work for children with special needs, learning disabilities. And she started, you know, she started to think, okay, maybe there's an opportunity in the marketplace to help meet a need for parents. So we've also had some brainstorming there with Muzahid. We had a call yesterday. She's reaching out to her network, and when she as somebody maybe not from a technology or an entrepreneurship background, but she is, you know, thinking about how to move forward from taking this from an idea into actually making it into a business, and whether that's finding collaborators in this group who can help with the technology, whether it's finding mentors or finding a network. So I think, and then we had a call, it was, I think, day before yesterday with Bunny, or was it yesterday? I've lost track of time. So we also had some discussion. Seema, Bunny and I had a call about health technology as well. Bunny's working on some health projects, and we also had some brainstorming with Seema. I'm just giving that as an example. I mean, now we're also bringing in on the call with the doctor in Liverpool, who I think he's a natural entrepreneur. I think he's making probably more money than most doctors I know, but he's a very impressive guy. But on that call, we had somebody from, and that call was also at, I think, 1 a.m, Bangladesh time. We had 4 people from Bangladesh participate, you know, 3 doctors and a genomics expert from Bangladesh participate in the call with the doctor in Liverpool. And so we're looking for ways to, you know, use the doctors in Bangladesh for outsourcing, or we can do genomics. So my point is really that, you know, I think we of course have to have a strategic plan, and we have to do things in a structured way, but we can get on and start doing things. And I think that if any of this group finds good entrepreneurial opportunities and can build a business, all the happier. So you can be successful and do good. I think maybe Seema, you can give your thoughts now, and then we'll bring in Erfan. And then
yeah,
Anwar,
I mean, I suppose it's nice to meet you all, and thank you for having me here. I guess when I started listening in on the calls, it made me think a little wider outside of my realm, and I began to see like there were opportunities, because there's a need in special needs. Parents are always desperate, looking for help and looking for support for their child. And I think because of this last year during the pandemic, it's really put sort of virtual interactions and virtual access to expertise for parents on the map, whereas previously it was always said that can't be done, everything has to be face to face. And when Ifty was telling me about the sort of health AI and about health apps. So I was thinking that there's a need. So maybe this was a way in which, you know, I could try to harness some of the, you know, I guess the networks that I have, but also to create that kind of opportunity for parents to be able to access help. And it would be, I guess, nice to be able to get support from this organization and expertise, because it's not my area at all. And yet I have an idea.
That's great. Thank you, Seema. I think so. I mean, I think all the way from coming up with a commercial model, you know, finding networks, thinking about the technology roadmap as well. I think that the collective expertise in this group could help. I mean, Seema actually is was actually a research scientist at Glaxo Wellcome, but she knows a lot about monoclonal antibodies and quite a lot about COVID. But she left quite a few years ago to bring up the family. But you know, I think we have some live experiments. So when we go back to Litu's mapping in charts, we have some different areas. Litu also reaches out to me and says, okay, Ifty, let's have some brainstorming. He has some ideas, and maybe I give some feedback, and we also think about sort of some technology approaches, whether it's in the restaurant sector, whether it's in his aquaculture idea, or even Rina, his wife, is wanting to launch a nutraceuticals business. So how can we use technology for that? Maybe now, Erfan, you can jump in and give your thoughts. Actually, as I said, you're an NSU graduate, but we obviously is my business partner. But I think you have a huge amount to add. And actually, as somebody that has established a very successful technology business in Asia, in multiple countries in Asia, not just in Bangladesh. In fact, I don't think you've been back in Bangladesh for probably 10 plus years. But you've actually set up in the UK with me Infinity Technology, but we're actually looking for partnership opportunities in multiple sectors. We've also established a property technology company with Jamal as well. But whether it's in fintech or in the property tech or the property sector, in healthcare, in restaurant digital transformation, we're actually proactively looking for partnerships and collaboration opportunities in those areas. But Erfan, do you want to give your comments, please?
Yeah. First of all, really excited to be part of this group. And I think the combination, the way everyone and the background that we can see here, we can contribute from different sectors when we try to help the new entrepreneurs. When I started that time, it was an easy trend to start a company in Bangladesh, then try to do freelancing job outside. I decided to start from outside, though I was living in Bangladesh. So I started it in Malaysia. I started the whole software thing there, and then went back to Bangladesh. So the challenge was that time I never got a chance to be a part of this kind of platform, or there was no help, to be honest. So I'm excited that now we had decided to create such platform where entrepreneurs like me, who will try to do something, not only in Bangladesh, but outside Bangladesh, will have this platform to help them and to bring their ideas internationally and roll it out internationally. So that is also I'm looking at. So if I can do that, and if we as a group can do that, that will be really helpful for those kind of entrepreneurs.
Okay, that's great, Erfan. Thank you. You're based in Reading as well, just for geographic. So maybe now we can go to Anwar Ali, and then I think we're almost at the end, Jawad as well. So thanks for those who have bared with us. And by the way, if any of you have to drop off because you've got family commitments, none of us will take any personal offense, but we're almost done. So Anwar Ali Bhai, maybe you have some.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, again, just echoing what everyone else has kind of said, it is an exciting opportunity, but it's only exciting if this group actually manages to do something, actually turns the rhetoric or the wording into actually some positive action, which then kind of leads me on to kind of my specialism. Obviously, I'm a social entrepreneur. I believe in actually businesses can actually do good as well. You know, I've taken it to the extreme where my business is a not-for-profit business, and I put all the profits back into the community and then kind of grow off that. But what I can say to you is obviously the whole social enterprise movement, not just in the UK, but it's a worldwide thing. The world is not a fair place. And there are opportunities, and businesses are also now moving towards creating more social businesses and everything else, and the opportunities that brings, which leads me to the next generation. The next generation are not like our generation or the generation before us. They're not driven by profit. They care about the environment. They care about their fellow neighbor in a different way to how we would perceive that. So that future generation X, the millennial generation, they are the ultimate social entrepreneurs coming forward in the future. So again, I think with all the issues that not just Bangladesh has, but even the UK and investors as well are kind of now rethinking and balancing their models, this is the ideal opportunity to also add that part to the mix. And there's plenty of ideas that I've talked to Muzahid about in terms of there's lots of ex-Bangladeshi people living in the UK and beyond who have dormant assets all sitting there in Bangladesh not doing anything. How can we get those assets to move and various different things? But ultimately, how do we bring the poor people, so to speak, and give them a voice and make sure entrepreneurial activity really benefits them as well? So I think we've got a duty of care as well. So it's really exciting. And like I said, the opportunities are endless across the kind of enterprise business sector. But let's add that social dynamic to it as well, because I think that would really play well in terms of not just what's happening nationally and regionally, but actually internationally as well. Let's focus and let's get part of that conversation as well, because Bangladesh does need leveling up as well.
Yeah, no, I think Anwar Bhai, thank you so much. I think you made a lot of important points in a very short period of time. And I think before you joined, I just wanted to, in some of my comments at the beginning, I was saying that one of the things that I'd say mission critical is how to engage. We can come up with lots of content and ideas and a strategic vision and technology capabilities and help with mentoring, training, and many things. But actually, we need to be able to reach out to a much broader range of people in the community. So whether that's people who are younger, whether it's people who are from underprivileged backgrounds, some people who lack motivation, or how can we inspire them and how can we give them opportunities? So I think we will, as I said, have the first launch this platform, basically replicate some of this discussion, maybe without all the governance stuff, but more, we'll get more of a chance to talk about some substantive issues on the March the 21st webinar. That'll be the first kind of launch webinar for this platform. The most important thing is going to be, unless you can engage with younger generation students, other community groups, it can be in the Muslim community, it can be, women entrepreneurs, can be other segments. So we want to be very broad at the beginning and then engage in a focused way later on. So I think Anwar Ali Bhai, I think you'll also be very helpful in doing that, because we need to make sure that we actually, we said at the beginning, doing social good, you can do good and also make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. And often it can be in that kind of win-win. Things like fintech, I mean, Erfan and I are working on using credit ratings to improve financial inclusion. So coming up with a credit rating using a mobile phone, and we can actually implement some of those technologies even in the UK or in developed countries as well. So again, in the interest of time, I think we just got one more person. I think I haven't missed anybody out. Jawad from Bangladesh Angels. Where are you actually based, Jawad?
Hi everyone, my name is Jawad, and I'm based in Dhaka actually, Ifty bhai.
Oh my God! And, so also, like Hannan bhai, it's now 1:40 in the morning, so
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm also his student as well. I graduated from North-South SB department. I was in economics, and right now I'm the lead associate here at Bangladesh Angels as well. I mean, it's been great to have the discussion and see the enthusiasm from the Bengali diaspora from all over the world, actually. And as you know, there are a few Bangladesh Angels members here present with us, and seeing them taking this initiative and forming something that is very important in terms of not only what we have seen to access to finance, but as well as bringing communities together. And I think the entire larger Bengali diaspora communities, not only in the UK, Europe, but also around the world, can actually replicate and see this kinds of model, being executed and helping a lot of other, individuals along, right? And happy to be here. And any task or anything that you would require from us, we'll be happy to coordinate and follow through. Thanks.
That's great. Well, I think that we'll now, just in the process of wrapping up, wrapping up in the next 5 minutes. So I think, let me give a couple of other things that have happened, which again underlines we can move if and actually I had a call last week, I think there's a non-resident Bangladeshi. So I know Nirjor, who couldn't join today, is the founder of the Bangladesh Angels Network. He's based in, I think, Austin. But there's another, American Bangladeshi based in Houston. And he reached out to me and said, look, he actually is in the private equity industry. He was raising a private equity fund. So, he actually arranged a call with 4 other white Americans. I mean, I don't think it's white versus dark, but anyway, let's say mainstream. So he arranged a call and he said, look, we're just sitting here at home, stuck at home. Our private equity fundraising has been derailed by COVID. We're just interested in finding, is there some digital opportunities in Bangladesh? Is there some ways to collaborate with you so we were exploring e-commerce opportunities or fintech opportunities in the Houston area, linking with us in London, and also looking for ways to collaborate in Bangladesh. Yesterday, I had a call with another Bangladeshi based in New York. His name is Terry Anwar, and he's organizing a conference at MIT. And again, he's interested in collaboration. So one of the things that Terry Anwar was saying was that in this Zoom world, I mean, many of us get fed up with too many Zoom calls, but we can actually move faster because we can be connected much more easily between the UK and Bangladesh and the US. And we can also be connected much more effectively between, London, Manchester, Newcastle, Cheltenham, and so on. So I think we have this COVID crisis has not only accelerated digitization, but it's also digital connectivity has become the norm now, and that also presents an opportunity for us to move quickly. And I just conclude just to echo what I think both Litu and Muzahid said, which is that we just want to take some. It's important to take the first few steps and have some success stories in the next 3 to 6 months. As we have some success stories, we will get traction. We will attract more funding. We will broaden the network. So I think actually Nusrat, Bunni was asking, is the target only young entrepreneurs, but also shouldn't we also be helping struggling SMEs with tech? Absolutely. So I think, again, I would, at least from my perspective, I might be quite, let's say, I think Seema would argue I'm obsessed with technology and gadgets, but I think that technology, some people become technology entrepreneurs, but the key thing is using technology and digitization to find new economic opportunities, to increase efficiency in your business, to find new markets and new ways to generate revenues. You might find ways to reduce costs. You might find ways to find new customers, engage with new customers using technology. So I think, Bunni, using, there may be SMEs who are, don't know much about technology, but we can help them, think of leveraging and using technology tools to help struggling businesses. So I think that's important. I think it's now, we've been going for almost an hour and 45 minutes. So I think we can wrap up. I think maybe Bashir Bhai, did you want to finish and give a vote of thanks to everybody? And we'll be sharing, as I said, the Zoom. We'll be sharing the Zoom link for this discussion, and also some of the PowerPoint and other papers. And we may also create a WhatsApp group as well if people share their numbers. But Bashir Bhai, did you want to finish up?
Thank you so much, everyone. It was excellent. Sorry, it took a little longer than we thought, but very important subject and content we discussed. Thank you for your contribution, and looking forward to see you all at the next call. Thank you again. Thank you, Ifty. Excellent. Well done. Thank you, Jakaria Bhai, joining us as well. Thank you.
Okay. thanks so much, everybody, and have a good evening, and also have a great advanced weekend. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.